Have you ever wondered why the harder you try to control the outside world, the less control you actually have? Have you ever noticed how certain people, without saying a word, shift the atmosphere when they walk into a room? It's not luck. It's not magic. It's the inevitable, gravitational pull of someone who has mastered the kingdom within. The Bible calls it the kingdom of God. Neville Goddard called it the state of the wish fulfilled. Carl Jung called it individuation. Different names, same destination. And the path is always inward. In the first verses of Genesis, God says, "Let there be light." But this is before the sun, before the moon, before the stars. So, what is this light? It's not physical. It's not photons striking the eye. It is awareness. The spark of consciousness itself. The very thing that allows you to know you are. When you read the Bible as metaphysics, every name, every place, every story is about you. When Jesus says, "The kingdom of God is within you," he means it literally. It's not a place you travel to. It's a state you enter. And you don't wait for death to find it. You step into it now. Neville's boldest claim was simple and impossible to ignore. Your imagination creates reality. Not in a vague, symbolic way. In the most direct way possible. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you plant a seed deep in the subconscious. And like all seeds, it germinates in darkness. You cannot see it working. But it is working. This is why the Bible speaks so often of sowing and reaping. It is not agricultural advice. It's psychological law. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Think from a place of lack, and lack multiplies. Think from a place of fulfillment, and the world bends to mirror that state. This is not positive thinking. It's identity thinking. Being before seeing. Living from the end, not toward it. And this is the pivot point of all transformation. Carl Jung arrived at a similar truth. Though he spoke the language of psychology, he called it individuation. The slow, deep process of becoming your whole self. The Bible calls it putting on the new man. Jung's shadow is the part of yourself you avoid. The traits you reject. The memories you hide. The impulses you condemn. And just like Egypt in the biblical story, the shadow holds you in bondage. Until you face it. The Pharaoh is not out there. The Pharaoh is within. You cannot enter the promised land without walking through the wilderness. You cannot become whole without integrating what you've exiled. Jung saw dreams and myths as messages from the unconscious. Neville would have said, they are the scaffolding of your next reality. In both cases, your inner world is always trying to lead you home. Here's the paradox. The best version of yourself is not something you build. It's something you remember. The so-called fall of man was not about moral failure. It was about amnesia. You have forgotten who you are. And the work of life is to remember. When your conscious mind and your subconscious agree. When the image you hold matches the feeling you live in. Success becomes inevitable. Not because the world suddenly changes, but because the world was always your mirror. Neville's words echo here. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world you live in. This is why chasing external goals feels like running on sand. You can repaint the picture all you want. But if the canvas hasn't changed, nothing holds. Transformation begins with the canvas. So, where do you begin? First, identify your Egypt. What belief, what fear, what identity keeps you small? Name it. Face it. Second, enter the promised land in imagination, first. Live in it now. Not someday. Now. Third, integrate your shadow. Everything you avoid holds part of your power. Bring it into the light. Fourth, persist. Seeds grow in silence. Your new self will too. Because Christ is not just a figure in history. Christ is the awakened imagination within you. And when you follow that, you stop chasing the kingdom. Because you are the kingdom. The kingdom is not a moment you stumble into by accident. It's not a flash of insight you hope returns someday. It's a way of moving through every hour of your life. When you wake, before the noise of the day reaches you, pause, close your eyes, and ask yourself, who am I being today? Not, what will I do? Not, what will I get? But, who am I? Because the outer always grows from the inner. Neville practiced this through revision. Taking any moment from the day and rewriting it in the mind, as if it had gone perfectly. Not to escape reality, but to train the subconscious to expect for the best. Jung would have called it integration. A conscious choice to weave the unwanted moments into the tapestry of the self. And the Bible? It would call it prayer without ceasing. Not pleading with a distant God, but dwelling in the state of answered prayer. You can carry this kingdom into the grocery store, into the meeting room, into the moments when no one is watching. Because the work is not to get there. The work is to stay there. And when you do, success stops being a pursuit. It becomes the inevitable reflection of a self that already knows it is whole. You were never meant to search for the kingdom. You were meant to remember. You were the kingdom all along. And so, the journey is not about becoming something new, but awakening to what has been quietly waiting within you since the beginning. You have been told to wait. To pray for a future day when life will finally open its gates to you. But the gates have always been open. They were never locked. They were never guarded. You were. The kingdom is not coming. It is here. It has always been here. And the moment you decide to walk in, not someday, not tomorrow, but now, you will see the world rearrange itself around your new identity. Stop waiting for permission. Stop negotiating with your old self. Stand in the end. Live as the person you already are in the unseen. Because the unseen is the seed, and the seed always knows what it will become. You are not here to chase the light, you are here to realize you are the light. And when you live from that knowing, the world stops being a place you must conquer, and becomes a place that blooms in response to your being.